Another common issue in forensic interviewing of children involves learning when something happened. Now, the law is a little less forgiving on this issue, but it's not mandatory. It's not required that a child remember exactly when something happened. Now, we talked a little bit about that in this class when we referenced the case of state in the interest of K.A.W., and we talk about that in Children in Justice in a lot of detail. But let's go over that now because it's a common issue in questioning children. We want to try to get a sense of when something happened. And of course, if we know with precision when it happened, that's pretty easy. If it happened yesterday or it happened when a cousin was visiting last week, that's the easy one. But very often these cases involve chronic abuse. They involve abuse that may have happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. And sometimes it happens over and over again and in stages. The first time may have been in the second grade, and that may have only included fondling. And by the fourth grade, there was more intrusive sexual penetration. So the law requires some sense of when something happened, but we don't need to know the exact date. So what we try to do is anchor what we learn from the child in something that's knowable and something that is relevant to the child. Something that the child may be able to connect up with the individual acts of abuse or the group of abuse events. For example, did it happen when you were in school or on summer vacation? Did it happen near Christmas or after Christmas? Was it around your birthday or after your birthday? Was it when grandma lived upstairs? Was it when you lived on Chauncey Street? You know, you can figure out these kinds of things based upon your investigation. You can figure out when grandma lived upstairs by asking the other relatives. You could find out when they lived on Chauncey Street by asking the caregivers. You could find out when it happened, not by asking the child, by sometimes talking to their caregivers and to their brothers and sisters and family members. They may talk about it in terms of what they were wearing, and they may not have that piece of clothing anymore. I had a case once where a child remembered that this happened when grandpa gave her the bike with the banana seat. Shortly after that time is when everything started. And we know when grandpa gave her the bike with the banana seat because mom knew that. We actually had the receipt in that case. Now, the child couldn't tell us that it happened in September of 2006, but she said that it happened after grandpa gave her the bike with the banana seat. So those kinds of events in the child's life that we can connect up to some date or time that we can get from other sources, family members and the like, or look at records, receipts, leases, whatever it might be, can give us more information so we can anchor the abuse event in time. And although the law is forgiving on this issue, there is a requirement that the child or the witness provide some clarity on when it happened.